Okay. Looks like we are live. That's what it's telling me anyway.
I got live.
I got live, so we're looking good. Right at this moment, it's only us three here. But oh no, general relativity's here. I didn't have my chat all the way open there. All right, good to see somebody. All right, welcome live from the crossroads of America to Rick's Life as I See It, a 1 hour talk show about guns, politics, anything else that crosses my mind. Also answer questions from the audience. Just type it in the chat box there and or send me an email at rickslifeasiseeit@gmail.com or spottedrick@gmail.com. Also, you can't make the whole show, or you miss one. Normally, they are posted within 24 hours on oh my god, I'm messing this up big time because I'm thinking of something else. On Podbean, iTunes, and Stitcher within 24 hours. Also, what I was thinking about was it automatically uploads to Gunstreamer too. I set that up. So there we go.
Cool.
Wheelchair Warrior, I sent you a link in your email. He's in the chat. So, all right. So that said, I got a Patreon page for everybody's interested here. I'm starting this as bad as I closed Wednesday's show. You know, like an amateur. All right, my topics. I said, what did I say? No Santa? Is that what I said? Yeah. It was just a little article I saw in New Jersey. A substitute teacher in the first grade class told the kids, in real life, there's no Santa. It's all made up by your parents. And the principal of the school sent letters home to all the parents telling them what happened. So I just thought, how can you spoil a kid's belief in Santa Claus? You know what I'm saying? Once you've lost that, your innocence is gone. You know.
Did the teacher receive a reprimand?
Yeah, I remember.
Probably not.
It was 19. Let's see, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63. Yeah, it was. I was 6 years old when I found out there wasn't a Santa Claus, because it was the winter.
Wait, what?
It was the winter of '63. I was living in England, and it was one of the worst snowstorms they ever had, and it was snow, over Christmas. Because my father was living in the States at the time, because my mother didn't like America too much. We would come over here. She wouldn't like it. She would come back home and drag us with her, and my father would stay over here. Well, he came back to England for Christmas. We're living at my grandmother's house, and my grandfather, I told you, he had a limousine business where they took people everywhere. Well, he had all the drivers around on Christmas Eve, and I woke up early in the morning, jumped out, and there was nothing. My grandfather was still there with with 2 or 3 of his drivers still getting drunk as hell, And I knew Santa should have been here because it was daytime. You know what I'm saying? Then I was told to go back to bed. Don't come out till it was cold. Then maybe 45 minutes later, I was told I can come out. Then everything was there, and I knew that wasn't true. I killed Santa for me. So that's my little kid story. So how I lost Santa is that he wasn't real anymore. And I know he's definitely not real.
Wait a minute.
In the last few years, because I sit here on Christmas Day and I get absolutely nothing unless I buy it myself. Nobody gives me a present. Not even
Do you
my
send
kids.
him a letter?
I send him an email.
Are you naughty
letter.
or nice? I believe I already know the answer to this, but
I guess I'm on the naughty list, I guess. You know?
You gotta make sure you write him.
Yeah, I will.
How is he supposed to know?
Send it. Yeah. Anyway, that story just caught my eye when I read it the other day. Or was it yesterday or this morning? And I thought, what a bastard to teach. Excuse my language, that teacher.
God, I think I would have went into school and smacked my kids' teachers. They did that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Oh, hey, Patrick. Roosted. Philo. They're in the chat there. Okay. Before we get started, I didn't make it last Saturday because I was sick, and I still got the stuffy nose from last week, but I'm a lot better. But the quiz that I didn't draw last week, and the question was, Dobkin, I think his name was, out of Quigley Down Under. I wanted to know what kind of revolver he had, and the answer was the answer which I got off of Google says a Colt 1851 Navy U.S. Marshal Special. Oh, we did have some correct responses, so they must have got to the same page as me on Google. So, where's my nifty random picker? Here it is. I think I got four in the thing. So let me click the button and see who comes up. Larry B. Must be Larry B. Larry B. I don't. Is that the? Did I have a screen name, or is that what they're known as? Is that somebody new? Anyway, whoever Larry B is, they're the winner. So,
congratulations, Larry.
Good job.
Oh yeah. So and that was for. I think it was this one. Stick to Your Guns, America hat. And for the one for the quiz later on in this show is All American Patriot hat. And as you can see, I got some boxes behind me here of past prizes. I haven't got them out, as everybody knows. The last couple of months have been a struggle for me, but things are starting to look brighter, so I'll get those in the mail next week, along with the new one, once I get Larry B's address. So, there we go. And the question I got for this week is really, let's have a look. I think it's kind of simple, really. Another Google search. So, anyway, okay, my next topic. Did you guys read about that graduate student at Harvard living in Massachusetts in a house with 4 or 5 other girls? They were suspicious of her because she was from Alabama. So she went away for the weekend, came back, and the girls confronted her, wanted to know if she had any weapons in her room. And he said, and she, you know, she didn't answer them. And they go, "We know you have because we searched your room." You know, they had no right to go in her room to start with. You know, it wasn't that they were all friends. It was a big, giant, I think it was a 6-bedroom house, and just 6 girls rented it. You know what I'm saying? And so they called the landlord, said they felt uncomfortable with firearms being in the house, and she has got to move. If she doesn't move, and the other girls move out, she has to pay their rent. I mean, this is what I was reading this morning, and I thought, you know, oh, not only that, the landlord called up the chief of police of the town it was in for him to go around there to make sure her weapons were stored correctly. And I thought, you know, it pisses me off, and I'm not even living there. You know what I'm saying?
They'll feel real uncomfortable if the house gets broke into while they're there and they don't have her there to protect them.
Well, see, their answer was right? They felt uncomfortable with them being there because they might go off sometime.
Now, is this like a sorority house? I mean,
It wasn't a sorority house, but it was a house that was rented by 6 girls.
okay.
You know, they all
Because
had
I know that some of them
their own
probably
room.
have rules and things like that, but it's
Yeah.
obviously off campus or.
Yeah,
Yeah, there was nothing in the lease that said that she couldn't have firearms on the property.
as far as I know, there wasn't. So it didn't say. I mean, the story's still ongoing. I'm hoping she goddamn Susie. You know.
And the
And
thing is, with a lease, if everybody else leaves, I mean, hopefully they all signed it, and then they're all held liable. It's not like, oh, I don't like you, so I'm leaving, so you have to pay my stuff.
Yeah, well,
I
there's
don't think
also there's a slight possibility because they could force her out and still make her pay.
oh, they did. The landlord sent her a letter saying if she left, they wouldn't hold her to the lease.
Well, that's
And
good.
see, I don't know how that would work. I mean, if you sign a lease, I mean, even the police, if you're on the lease, they can't kick you out, I thought.
That's what I thought too.
You know, I mean, if you're having some
Um,
issues or something, I mean, unless it's physical, they can make you leave for a day or something. I don't know, but that sounds
Ohio-
crazy to me.
I want to answer Ohio in the chat. No, I must have said it wrong. When the chief of police came around to see if she was storing her guns correctly, she was.
Let them other girls move out because they signed a damn lease. They're responsible for their part.
Yeah, but the landlord
Yeah.
threatening her when the other girls move out, she's going to have to pay it.
He's full of
But
shit.
you can't do that. If they all signed
It's
it,
an ongoing thing going right now. So I only read it this morning. So it's happened recently. You know? And I thought, I mean, what is this world coming to? You know? Oh, we don't feel safe or uncomfortable with those guns in the house. You know?
Well, I'm still looking for that magic gun that just jumps up and starts shooting all by itself. I haven't found one yet.
Oh, me.
Yeah, me neither.
But there's got to be there's obviously law about leases, and breaking leases and reasons for it. I mean, if they were doing something criminal, possibly, but just because you don't like somebody, you're not kicking anybody off a lease. And if they're on the lease, they don't have to leave, as far as I know.
Yeah,
I mean, it could be different.
I don't know the story, and it didn't go into those kind of details. I actually found it on the Fox News website.
Hey, I got a bail. I'll be back here half an hour or so.
All right, Tony. Oh, talking about that, I forgot to introduce the panel. But that was Tony, everybody. He'll be back. Let me introduce a wheelchair warrior. How you doing?
Fantastic. Fantastic. Yeah, I hit the chat, and then you told me you had me a link, and I had to go back, and I looked right over it.
That's all right. I'm overlookable, All right, the next one is the one and only, the legend, Secret in the Dark.
Oh, me? Jeez,
Yeah.
that's a big title.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for the link. Appreciate it. And I couldn't miss you there, Rick.
Okay. Then we got the Kingpin. How you doing, David?
I'm doing good. Hopefully everybody else is doing good. Thanks for the invite.
No problem. No problem. And we got Rob D, New York Outcast, in the room now. Unknown user. Local 223. People are starting to come in now. That's good. Nobody over on gun channels, though, right now. It's not showing them anyway.
They probably heard me say sorority.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was that one. I got a few things here. I mean, let's get it out of the way. I know it's already being talked about, and there's not really much you can do about it if it happens. But the bum stock thing that everybody's talking about is going to, happen very soon. And there's going to be from what I read, there's going to be no grandfather clause. That's it. Once they're banned, you either got to destroy them or turn them in.
Within 90 days.
Within 90 days. Yes. Now, if you don't turn them in, who knows you got one? Are they really going to send somebody out to get them?
Well,
I really don't foresee a lot of police forces, going out of their way. Now, if you get busted for something else and they find that on you, then yeah, I can see it. But I don't see them busting down doors, looking for bump stocks.
and you got to remember that there's going to be lawsuits filed almost immediately, I'm sure.
But
Not that does anything. I mean, I would wait till the last minute.
It's not even. I mean, what scares me, and I think I said this last week or on Wednesday or in the daytime chat. They come out here so much. I think it all runs together. Is what scares me is, Donald Trump. Don't get me wrong, he's done some great stuff, and if the election was today and he was the only one running, I would vote for him again. But what scared me, and I said this before, is with the new Senate, with the new House coming in, which are Democrats, right? And say for argument's sake, they're hoping they're going to do it this year before the end of the Congress this year. But say they don't, is he? How he wants that $5 billion for the wall, right? So what Democrats in the House? Because everything goes through. It gets done at the House, then it gets sent over to the Senate. The Senate looks at it and goes, "Yeah," makes a few tweaks on it and everything else, and it's all worked out. Then it goes up to the president for him to sign. Okay, so what? Schumer and Pelosi say, let's give him the $5 billion, right? That he wants, but we're going to attach to it an assault weapons ban. Okay, it goes over to the Senate. The senators go, whoa, whoa, whoa. But then someone think, now we got some rhinos there. Mitch McConnell over the Kavanaugh thing done a pretty good job. But to me, for the last few years, he's been a waste, to be honest with you. But what happens if he thinks, well, Donald wants this $5 billion. So they slide it through the Senate, goes on his desk. The president doesn't have line item veto. It's all or nothing. And I think if it said you get your $5 billion and it had an assault weapons ban on there, Trump will sign it. That's what I honestly believe. And now, am I being too paranoid?
I don't think so. He's a deal maker, and I see him making deals to get what he wants, and he'll take the backlash on anything else.
Oh yeah, the midterms are over, so you know what I'm saying. So he could do anything anti-gun like this, and what are we going to do? The only thing is he won't get vote. Do we have enough pull as a community for him not to get voted in 2020?
Yeah, I wouldn't even worry about the voting in and all that kind of stuff, because that's way down the road. We got enough where we can mobilize and do our Capitol rallies, and he sees a lot of people doing stuff. Instead of just sitting there and yelling and screaming and crying like some in the community do. If you get out and you show that there's a number of people, he watches the news. Obviously he does, because that's what that's his thing, and it's inevitable if you get enough people that, they might not show all of it, but they will be showing some of it.
Yeah.
So you can't just wait and go, oh, well, I'm not going to vote for this. Well, that voting is way down the road. What are you doing tomorrow? I'm just tired of everybody just crying and screaming. It's dumb. the crying and screaming is fine, but you're not doing anything. I don't see anybody saying, "Hey, this is tomorrow's the 2nd of the month. How many people are going to the Capitals?" I can probably guarantee there's probably about a handful, if
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I haven't heard a single thing about it.
No, me either.
And all I hear is people crying about, "Oh, well, I'm not voting for him." Who gives a shit who you're voting for in a year and a half? I don't care. What are you doing tomorrow? What are you doing next weekend? You know, you got all those people that go to SHOT Show in what, January, February.
Yeah.
You get all those people together. You can't put something together. I don't buy it, and I don't subscribe to the whining and crying and screaming and, "Oh, they're not taking this, don't infringe on me." That's fine if you want to sit around and have a beer and say that kind of stuff, but that doesn't change anything. It's not changing my mind. It actually makes me not want to listen to you. If you're one of these ones that just cries about it. You know. So there's plenty of things that we can do if you show up. People notice, especially if you get a little group. You get a little group and they get a bigger group. You know. So I don't know. I'm not one that puts things off. I don't like that kind of stuff. So that's just my little rambling. So
That's fine. I know where you're coming from. I mean, instead of talking, let's do some action.
yeah, it's just. I mean, you can sit there and it's a Saturday. I mean, I don't drive, so whatever. But there's plenty of things to do. Where you can whatever. I don't know. You have to figure out your own stuff, but just sitting there complaining about stuff, especially to other people, that are around you, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, when you turn off other gun owners because you're just screaming and crying about something, and you're not doing anything positive, you're not getting off your ass and going to a capital. You're not, emails. I mean, really, how long does the email take to write? I mean, that's good, but how many emails a day do you delete without reading them? Now, you think
Well,
the people in the capitals just sit there and, "Oh man, let's read this email," So
well, and that's a nice gesture as well. Writing your congressman, and I believe in that. Write them and tell them, and voice your opinion. But you also have to have the reality in your mind that those politicians don't care about the email that you just sent them.
um,
We can flood Mitch McConnell's email with this national reciprocity thing until his computer explodes, and all he's going to do is go get another computer. He's
Oh yeah.
he's they're,
so
so
it,
waiting. I agree with Patriot. If we
it's
keep waiting for these politicians to do something, then we're going to become old men still
and
waiting.
it's hard to ignore a group of people standing together. I believe me, I do it all the time. I'll delete hundreds of emails a day because, without reading them.
Yeah.
So it's easy to do that, and it's not them reading it anyways. It's some little college kid trying to get some street cred working there.
Yeah, a lot
But
of
you
these
show up
politicians.
with 10 people, at their office, they're gonna, they got to walk around you to get in or whatever. So it's, I don't know. Sorry, go
A
ahead.
lot of these politicians have got their seats locked up. So it doesn't
Mm.
matter how much we protest. It doesn't matter how much we tell them that we're not going to vote for them. They don't care because the rest of the gerrymandering and other corrupt stuff that they got going on to keep their seats will keep them in their seats.
Oh
Yep.
yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Career politicians.
Yeah. But I understand where you're coming from, but unfortunately, don't get me wrong, is like like the anti-gun lobby, if that's what you want to call them, right? If they're going to do, say, a march on Washington, they seem to be able to pull thousands of people. I mean, as a gun community, we just don't seem to be able to do it.
Well, people that don't like guns, they can be from one extreme to another. Oh, they're dangerous. I want to protect little kids. Oh, I don't want poor helpless little animals to get hurt. So you got all sorts of people, and it's easy, if you don't like something to group together. But when you have, gun owners, you got guys, oh man, you don't need no 30-round clip because 5 rounds is all you need to go hunting, them guys, and then you got other guys that go, oh, I don't care about bump stocks, all that kind of stuff. They're not going to join together because it actually takes energy to do something. To hate something and to not like something, it's easy to group together. But when people are trying to fight for something, it's hard to pull the lazy guys off the couch.
Yeah.
Well, on top of that, guys, there's another issue. The left has big money people willing to pour money into organizing these rallies and making these things into big deals. You got Soros and all these guys pouring money in left and right, and we don't.
The money, what's the money really got to do with it, though? Because, if you look at Soros, how much money he's got, he doesn't put hardly anything into, fighting this, fighting firearms. He's got like a certain little percentage.
He's
Bloomberg.
Yeah, but if you really think about the money that they could throw behind it, if they really wanted to, we're not going to match that. But that's besides the point. You don't need to match the money. What's a group of people getting together?
Say that money bought 1639 in Washington State.
Well, and
they're going to do the same thing in
Florida. There's a lot of things that could have helped prevent that. You got national organizations that didn't say anything about it. I didn't know about it until some other things.
The second foundation, the second
SAF, yeah.
Before they took it to court, right up to Washington State Federal Court. And they had it thrown out because it wasn't put together like the Washington State Constitution says it's meant to be.
Yeah, and it depends on how they word it.
Then they took it to the big 11-man panel of Supreme Court, and they overturned it and said you can't file anything against something that hasn't happened yet.
Yeah. And even here in Michigan, the way they word proposals, for the guy off the street that doesn't really give a shit, and the only reason he's showing up is to vote for, the one thing he was told to vote for, they make it so that it's pretty much, brain dead. Things are going to pass. Unless you read up on stuff, half the stuff isn't worded correctly to, state what it's actually going to do.
And that's what happened with this. The first time 1639 was proposed to be put on. It wasn't worded correctly, and they won. But it was overturned. And also, because I think they needed, 500,000 or 700,000 signatures to get it onto the ballot.
And
Bloomberg paid $8 a signature to get it done. So these people were going around everywhere saying, sign this. Are you interested in gun safety? Not explaining what it's all about.
That's you're always going to have stupid people to do stupid things. But
yeah, now it's being taken. Part of it's being challenged in the Supreme Court.
One of the
foundation,
One of the main problems that I see is that, we have a lot of people that enjoy firearms, and there's a lot of reasons why. There's a lot of people that don't like talking about it. I know a lot of people that have firearms that enjoy them, but unless you're know them really closely, they're not going to talk about it. And so you're not going to see them walking down the street. So there's a lot. I think there's a lot more to that. And so it's harder to get, like I said, it's harder to get, people to fight for something because, it's not convenient. They'd rather do something else.
Well, and you mentioned it earlier, like with the bump stock. I've talked about it before. The left, well, I'll just paint broad strokes. The left will say, here's something new that we hate, and everybody on the team will be like, okay, great. And then when the bump stock argument comes to our side, you'll have people say, well, I don't care about the bump stock. Get rid of it if you want. And then other people will be like, well, I do care about the bump stock because I like it. Or the differences of opinion on our side. Same thing goes with the voting. You know, the Democrats are going to vote down ticket every single time, no matter what. The Republican side will not, because I might like five of your platform topics, but then there's that one topic that I can't bring myself to consciously vote for. So I'll vote for the Libertarian, or I'll skip that one, or I just won't vote at all. And then the other side's not like that. If they put up Sasquatch for the Democrat candidate, all your Democrats are going to vote for Sasquatch.
And
They just don't care. They're lockstep into each other when it comes to fighting against us.
That proved it.
yeah, I
in
take
New York
it.
City with that what's her name, Ortiz. They just, if she was Democrat, they voted for her.
And I still kind of pull for the pro-gun, anti-gun instead of left and right. I understand that the great majority or whatever. I mean, I don't put numbers on anything, saying the left or whatever. But I mean, like in my area, 90% of the people are Democrats, because it's a union town, and it's always has been, and even though they're diving it into the dirt, I mean that's how it is. But we still have 5, 6 gun shops, so there's obvious conflicts, but who do they really vote for? I mean, voting and all that stuff. I mean, the guys around here, I mean, it's basically, hey, these guys are backed by us, and I'll throw out the union thing, but whoever it is, UAW or whatever, they I mean, there are a lot of guys that fight that, and they go and vote their own way, but there's a lot of people that don't pay attention to nothing. They don't care. It doesn't affect me. It doesn't matter who I vote for. It's not going to matter anyway. All that kind of garbage. You hear it all the time.
Yep.
And then you ask, and they're like, "Oh, that does, what does that really change in my daily life? What they do overseas, or what national this, national that. They don't care, because as far as they're concerned, they wake up, they have their coffee, they meet at the diner, they have their little hot dog or whatever the hell they eat, and then they go and meet up at the whatever crochet club or whatever the hell they do."
I got a lot of that with the red flag laws. A bunch of people told me, and these are people who own more firearms than I do. You don't know what you're. It's no big deal. I don't care. I always get well, I'm a law-abiding citizen. So it doesn't matter what they do. Well, it does. Just the same thing with like surveillance. When people say, whoever says that they want to, have access to your cell phone records and your internet records, you always have the people out there that say, well, I don't do anything wrong, so I've got nothing to hide. Well, so what? If you don't got nothing to hide, go ahead and post your stuff on your own voluntary basis. I still don't want the government snooping around my stuff.
So you're right.
Well, that's the thing. 2 months.
I saw. I mean, as you know, I've been in guns 3 years. I knew what they were because they were already not allowed in Rhode Island. They're not, and they made sure they banned them again. They've been banned twice in the same thing, right? But I asked what was it, and I was told what it was. Now, personally, it doesn't interest me at all. But if you want it, you should have the right to have it. They shouldn't be able to take it away from you.
Well, that whole thing with the bump stocks. If you're on the other side, and guns are evil, and all the stuff that they're told and they believe, a bump stock can hurt a lot more animals than if you didn't have that. So yeah, get rid of it. It doesn't make sense. I mean, does anybody really do that? But it doesn't matter, because it's obviously that thing is going to make whatever's bad even badder. It's going to be the badderest thing around.
Yeah. Well,
is that a good word? I like that.
Yeah.
I like
Batterist.
Batterist rocks.
I mean, but
Yeah.
no matter, but you know, this isn't the end of it. They
Well,
no.
see, that's the thing. That's what they're going to use, and it's just like with the background checks. They're going to find a bunch of pro-gun people and say, "What do you think of the bump stock?" And they're going to say, "Oh, that's a stupid gimmicky thing. I don't care about it." Then they're going to say 90% of gun owners think the bump stock should be banned, just like they say 90% of gun owners agree with background checks.
Oh yeah.
And 90% of scientists that we asked to anyway.
Yeah.
That
The biggest problem that I see with all of it is the people who are so against it. They're against it for emotional reasons, not for logical reasons. They don't understand guns. They don't know how guns work, just like with the girls in that house. You know, they're afraid those guns are just going to go off and kill all of them all by themselves.
Yeah.
well, if
But
you want to know a secret, go ahead. I'm sorry.
what's the secret?
Well, the secret is you got the college kids and all this stuff. I bet I would bet $1 on this for sure, that there are groups of boys in college. I call them boys because their mentality
Yeah.
would stand in line and sign any petition if it's going to get them
I guarantee
a
it.
nod at the
A
girls
nod
in
and a
that
wink
house.
from a cute girl.
So they don't care about that. That's not anything that they deal with. They get their little fancy coffee and their little drinks with straws and fruit in it. And no
Hey,
offense.
when I was in high school, if a cute girl wanted me to support a cause, by golly, I was all into that cause. It didn't matter what the cause was, you know. But when I was in high school, I didn't know, the difference between my butthole and a hole in the ground either.
Yeah.
But now, these grown adults don't realize, especially the gun owners, that are willfully ignorant. They don't realize with every single piece of legislation, they are giving up their rights. The thing you said about the internet and the social media history and all that, it's all digging away at our rights and our freedoms. And people think, well, no, this is the United States. We're the freest country in the world and we're going to stay that way. Well, no, we won't. Not if we, the people, don't stand up and fight for what we've got
You mean
and what we're supposed to have.
if everybody just sits and waits for that next election that's a year and a half away and say, "Oh, I'm just not going to vote for that person." You mean
Exactly.
like that? Yeah.
We've got to emails. I know that they can delete them, but I hit them with them constantly anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And I always get some kind of a reply. So your emails, tweets, they're sick of hearing me at the congressmen and senators' offices, both state and federal. They pretty much know me by my voice at this point.
And one suggestion.
I've even, yeah.
Oh, is if with those replies that you get that are what I was coming up with a word, but I'm trying to keep it clean. The replies that you get from them, it's good to retweet those. I do that all the time with like Stavanaugh here. She's I'm totally 100% back the Second Amendment. My family, all they do is fish and hunt. And it's so putting that stuff out there, but is good too. Not that that changes anybody's mind, but
the lack of understanding of people about what the Second Amendment is, and then when you explain to them it's so that our government cannot go tyrannical, they go right back into that willful ignorance of, well, no, this is the U.S. This isn't Venezuela. This isn't Cuba. This isn't Russia. This isn't China. Blah blah blah. That can't happen here. But it couldn't happen in those other places until it did.
Until they got rid of the
And
guns.
people just, they are so willing to just be a turtle and pull their head back inside their little shell and try to enjoy their little life and not worry about, you know, what's going to happen if we continue to let things go like they are. Then our kids have to deal with it. Then if our kids decide to do what mom and dad did and put their head inside their shell, inside of 2 generations, this is going to be the socialist states of America.
The complacency is horrible. I mean, the biggest thing is teaching your kids. I mean, you don't rely on schools. I mean, I can't stress that enough. But I mean, I have family that, were in the Marine Corps and stuff, and it's like their kids wouldn't know what end to point in a firearm. They don't know anything about it. They don't know. It's like, dad did time, did this stuff, and now we don't have to worry about it. And so they don't even pay attention to it, and anyway.
Yeah. And, a lot of veterans never even touched a gun, but maybe once or twice during their entire time in the military.
Yeah.
And those times the gun was probably unloaded. I know we used to stand watch with unloaded 45s. We had a magazine, but we weren't allowed to put the magazine in and actually charge the weapon until after something happened. Well, by that time, it's a little too late. And, being a veteran, I've met tons of veterans that are just like, oh, well, I think these gun laws are good and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, what did you serve in the military for?
You get a lot of those that say that's why they served, so we wouldn't have to. I've got that a few times.
Yeah.
It's whatever. I mean, to each their own, but that doesn't mean, sit on your couch and just watch YouTube videos.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I had
make sure you're doing something.
When I was in Rhode Island, I had a guy that I knew. His son went into the U.S. Navy, and he was sent on some ship. I can't remember which one it was, but it got sent out to the Middle East, to the Mediterranean or whatever, because of whatever was going on out there. And the father said, oh, my God, my son could be killed. If something happened, goddamn the president and all this shit, right? I said, why did your son join the military? This was what might happen. They're there to defend the freedom, And they didn't, no, my son joined the military he couldn't find a job. It was a job for him.
Yeah. Oh, they joined for college, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, you get that a lot, too. Oh, they didn't join for this. He joined for college. It's like, oh, yeah?
And I've known a lot like that. When I was on active duty, I knew a lot like that. They were there to get their college paid for, and that was, and those were always the guys that you couldn't get them to work, you couldn't get them to do anything, and it was just a constant battle getting them just to do their basic job. And those were also the guys that I would not look for when the poop hit the fan. Because there were those like me that went in, and we knew when we put our hand up and took the oath that we were signing a blank check. And honestly, I never expected to live to see 30. I mean, I'm 49 now, and I'm amazed that I'm still here. And
Well, we appreciate it. We're glad you are.
I'm kind of glad too, but
even your senators, representatives are glad you're here.
Well, I don't know. My representatives are not so glad because I've almost started to disguise my voice.
Yeah.
Is there anything going on in the chat?
Oh yeah, there's a lot going on in there. They're on about. I have to back up now. I've been reading some of it.
Well, hello to everybody in the chat. I can't see you, but because I'm using my phone. But hello.
Yeah. So it's all on Rick. If you're asking a question, just make sure you tag him so he can see it.
Yeah.
Because I can't see it.
Oh yeah, they're. I mean,
well, that's funny. Why can't you see?
It said something here like Patriot doesn't know the difference between a hole in the ground and his ass or something.
Oh yeah.
No, that's what I said about me when I was in high school.
I know, but they're saying Patriot doesn't know the difference either.
And the chat's all decked out in yellow, Patriot, just since nobody else told you that.
Yeah, it sounds like they're all yellow.
Well, they need to watch him doing his mail call.
Oh yeah, upside down.
I was quite amazed. He's opening these things up, filling them with his hands, and in all but two things, he got them oriented in the right direction and knew what they were.
I was really hoping for that gold, black, and red flame gun channel sticker, but
you missed out on that one.
Yeah.
But the Orange Life I was amazed you got that one, even though you did put it down upside down.
Yeah, well, I have to, help out for those, other crayon eaters, so that, if they drop their phone, they can still see it.
So I thought you were just messing with us, just to be honest.
All this good chat going on. Roosted says I have to pull out the butthole one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but I don't know. Our government's a mess, no matter who's in power.
Yeah,
but it always has been. It's never been where it's just all happy sunflowers.
Well, yeah, it's never
been from the beginning of our country. There's always been, multiple point of views. That's what our country is about.
Yeah.
I mean, if we all felt the same way, we'd be,
Government's got so big, which it shouldn't have. But because you got some of them have been up there the last 40, 50 years. Once you've got, which it's hard for me to fathom, a politician. He's a professional politician. He's been voted in time after time after time after time. His whole career is up there, and that isn't how it was set up. You're meant to go. Like you do a senator, you do maybe 1 or 2 terms, then you go back to plowing your field again.
Yeah, well, see, that's why they keep doing that. They feel sorry for him because that's all they know. Because I mean, would you hire anybody that said I'm a lifetime senator? So they feel bad for him, so they keep voting him in because they don't want him back in their hometown. I mean, what would you do with them?
They go back to practicing law, and then they're, who needs another lawyer?
Yeah, blood-sucking leeches. That's what lawyers are. But,
it just bothers me, the way our political system is set up. If you're not rich, you really can't run and expect to win. It's not set up for the average guy on the street to be able to run for office.
See, I don't know, because I mean, I blame most of it on the people. I always blame stuff on the parents. I mean, it's always the parents' fault anyway. So I'm just going to continue with that line of thought
Well, I
because
believe it is
you know
too.
in the 50s, you know, where you had guys that they wore suits. You were got your shoes polished and you wore a hat. There was I don't know. Seemed like there was more. I mean, there was obviously issues in the 50s. I'm not saying that, but it was you were more in tune with what was going on. I mean, I'm sure there's scandals all the time, but now people are so lazy they don't teach their kids that hey, you got to pay attention to this stuff because if you don't, somebody's going to screw you over or they're going to do this or whatever.
And what's happened is our kids, right? Well, I'm saying me because I'm an old guy. My kids now are in their 30s, right? Late 30s.
Oh, you're old.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, hopefully I taught mine right, but you get these ones that haven't been taught right. Right. Now, there. Unfortunately, how can I put it? The people that back in our day, when I was growing up, my father being military, right? Everything had a place and it had to be put back there, and we had to do this. I mean, it wasn't hard. I mean, he wasn't. I mean, when I misbehave, I got the belt, and we were meant to be in for dinner at a certain time. If you weren't there, you didn't eat.
You might have to explain that. If there's any young guys in the chat, they might not understand what the belt means.
I mean, if my mother was cooking, pork chops that night, and you go, well, I don't fancy pork chops. I mean, I used to serve customers when I was working in the meat business. They would say, I'll have one pork chop, I'll have a piece of steak there, I'll have a piece of chicken. And it's all for one meal. Each kid gets something different. Well, this one doesn't like this one doesn't like that. You eat. I had to eat. You can tell I ate what was put in front of me. You either eat it or go without.
Yep. You eat what's put on the table or you don't eat.
That's right. And the only thing I refused to eat, right, was liver. I hate liver with a passion. Right? I would eat everything else on the table and the plate except for the liver. But today, see, like I said, so you got those 3 or 4 kids are getting what they want because they don't like it. And now they're the ones who, now their kids, you know what I'm saying? It's getting weaker and weaker as the generations go by.
Yeah, see, I'm kind of conflicted with that because on one hand, I mean, it's horrible. I see how bad it's getting. But on the other hand, I'm so happy for my daughter because she'll never have to deal with, competition as much if people are getting soft. That's why you have to make sure you teach your kids. Nobody else is going to do it. As long as you teach them, you can't worry about, the 2 kids next door or whatever. I mean, you can, help them out if you can.
I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I'm just as guilty. I was easier on my kids than my parents were on me. I think it's just natural. I taught them right from wrong.
It's one thing to be easier on them, but if you're leading by example, your kids see what you do, and that is more important than them just hearing you telling them, do this, do that, do this other thing. Them seeing you do it, then they see, hey, this is not only important, it's important enough that dad or mom actually does it themselves. It's not just them spouting off a bunch of stuff at me. They're serious. They do it too.
That's the thing about like the hard work, where I'm a farmer, so my kid could be a mechanic, so his kid can be a doctor. As long as you show that you're doing hard work and that the importance of that,
I mean,
obviously
exactly.
you don't have to have them out in the field, all day long until the sun goes down. But if you can, do it.
Yeah. I mean, good example. I was a blue collar worker. I was in the meat business, right? But as people know, my youngest son is going to medical school in January. So he's becoming a doctor. I mean, to me, that's an
Hey,
upgrade from what
free
I
health
was.
care.
What?
Free health care.
That's what I told him. I said, I expect to be paid back. I go, I want that little sort of apartment above your garage.
Little apartment, nothing. He's going to be a doctor. Tell him to buy you a whole house.
Well, I was going to live. I was going to live in his house, above the garage.
And you expect maid service.
So the actual deal I had with him was, so when he became a doctor, right? He had to buy me a brand new Harley.
Oh, there you go.
Right, but I can't ride anymore because of my back. But how it all started was, and he goes to me, he goes, "Buy you a Harley." I said, "Yeah." He said, "How much are they?" I said, "Yeah, the one I want, all decked out, 35, 40 grand." He says, "I'm going to be $250,000 in debt, with student loans and stuff." I said, $250,000. Add another 40,000 on there. Ain't going to make a big difference.
Yeah, come on.
Well played.
Nice.
So no, I mean, I wish him all the luck. That he gets, earns buku money. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't have to work his ass off like I did. But,
There's some parts of that really, really freaking suck to get through it. Starting residencies are a bitch.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, getting through the actual medical school, I think it's the easiest part. Was it a 2-year residency they got to do somewhere? And they're on call almost 24/7.
Yep.
But once you get through that and get to, I mean, I got to talk to him. I haven't talked to him for a while, but last time I spoke to him, what he wants to be is a brain surgeon.
Well, that won't help you.
I thought, wow. Yeah, Will.
Yeah, you're beyond helping the brain.
He'll be earning some great money. But I told him the highest paid. I said the highest paid doctor in the hospital. I can't get the name of him. The one that puts you under when you're going in for an operation.
Anesthesiologist. Yep.
They earn the most money. I said that's what you want to be. I go.
No, it ain't, man. I want to be a gynecologist.
No, you don't.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
You see some of the nasty stuff that goes through a gynecologist's office, you might decide to turn gay.
I've been married for 37 years, man. I've seen plenty.
I was married for 19, and I wouldn't want to be a gynecologist for nothing.
37 years today, in fact.
Well, happy anniversary.
Yeah, happy anniversary. What's she doing letting you on here?
She just got home from work. She gave me the lost text of the Bible for anniversary gift. I didn't get her nothing. I'll take care of her later.
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. Now I want to change topics totally here.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
It's gun related. When I read the beginning of the show, it's what crosses my mind. Oh, but before I do that, let me do the question before I forget. It's for the All-American Patriot hat. You guys see it? Even still got the tag. And it's a mail-in quiz. You mail your answers into Rick's Life as I See It at gmail.com or spottedrick@gmail.com. Now, to me,
I'm assuming that that's pretty crisp on the hat and not blurry like it looks here because you look blurry too.
Oh no! I mean, these are fantastic hats. I mean, these are really, really good hats. You know, I've only got I think I got 3 left. You know, so,
I was being a smartass, Rick, but it got you to show the thing up close, so that's what I was after.
Yeah. So no, they're really good hats. I mean, they were from one of our listeners. You know, that's another thing, guys. I need stuff. I'm begging, not begging. If you got any stickers or whatever you want to get rid, I've got some. I got some, and and I was saying the other day, I've got my stickers. I've got them because you remember you guys helped me fund them. I finally got them. I got them before I left Rhode Island, and I still got. I moved them the other day. I still got 8 boxes that aren't unpacked because I got nowhere to put the stuff until I get some storage containers or shelving or something. And I got a feeling they're in one of those boxes, you know, because I ain't come across them yet. So, but I'm going to start doing the stickers things again. But if anybody's got any swag laying around, they don't want it, send it to me. I'll take it. Oh, yes, I still have yours. Yes, I got them. Actually, I found them the other day. What did I do with them?
When I get some money, I might get some Wheelchair Warrior swag, but it might be a while.
That one's yours, right? See, I came across them. I got them right here. I'll be start giving those away too soon. So, if anybody's got any swag they want me to get, if you want me to, or you got anything you want me to promote, send it to me. I don't mind going, you know, Dove soap. You know what I'm saying? I don't mind doing that. So, I'm just, you know, anything like that works for me. Anyway, okay. I ain't giving you the question yet, have I? I'm giving you the addresses, my email addresses. Now, the question is, now this is a good one. Right? You're going to have to, unless you know it off the top of your head, got to do with James Bond. Right? In the movie, The Man with the Golden Gun. We know the Golden Gun was a fictional gun. But what I want to know is, what caliber was it? Got that? The Golden Gun from the James Bond film, The Man with the Golden Gun. I want to know what caliber it was.
It's a good one.
I
found the information on the internet. You know, I Googled it.
I actually know that.
You do? Well, email it to me.
I ain't getting into the prizes. I'm part of the show, man. I ain't gonna.
All right.
I just watched that movie a week ago.
Yeah. So anyway, so that's the question.
I'm going to send in on that one because I like that hat.
It is a good hat. It is a good hat. I said, and the guy who gave me them, I mean, I can't thank him enough because they'd be my prizes now for the last few weeks. Down there, I got 3 left. So after that, I got to come up with some other stuff. So I ain't figured out what yet. Okay, back to my topic. Something that really, really gets my goat. You know, it's the phrase, gun porn. That pisses me off. No way. To me, when people say gun porn, let's look at the gun porn, or I'm a gun whore, something like that. To me, you're making yourself look like the goddamn deplorables they said we were.
It's just a friggin' joke, man.
Gorn. Have you heard it called Gorn? Gorn?
No.
I kind of agree with you. I don't particularly like it either, but
it just.
Go ahead, Patriot.
I'm sorry. It just, to to me, it just puts that little one more notch on it that things are bad. Of course, nowadays, who knows?
Exactly.
I mean, I don't know.
I mean, all it is saying that there's something that we like to look at.
Yeah, but I mean, calling it gun porn, it's like, you're looking at goddamn porn, regular, porn on the internet. I mean, that's the category you're putting it in.
Yeah, I personally, I would never go to my mom and say, "Hey, look, I'm going to go take some gun porn pictures, or I'm going to look at some gun
Exactly.
porn." But
Exactly.
I don't
that's
believe
me.
I don't believe I use that phrase either
Never.
in
I said,
my
this
head.
is my personal. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to. I mean, a good example. If I'm watching Matt's show, Never Enough Ammo, he has a section where he shows off gun porn, people's guns. I'm not going to switch off because that's what he's doing. I personally don't like it. So if
But
I was going to show some pictures of guns on here, I wouldn't call it gun porn. That's
Rick,
all I'm saying.
it's
Yeah.
not limited to guns, though. I mean, 15, 20 years ago, there was guitar porn, which
Yeah.
is why I can kind of let stuff slide because it's about whatever anybody happens to like to look at.
What is this porn that you speak of? I've never heard of that stuff before.
Those were never enough ammo.
Yeah, well, I heard Matt scared of blindfolds anyway, so I don't.
He doesn't have very many firearms to choose from. That's
the way
probably the problem.
I think Clover said it good here. If it's not appropriate to use around your grandkids, it's not appropriate to use in public.
Exactly.
But
I
it's not anything untoward.
but the
It's
word is
just a freaking no. It's not. It's an abbreviation of the word pornography.
So
If you're talking and your kids happen to be nearby you, would you not say the word pornography?
not in a positive light.
No, not in a positive way.
I mean, that's me though.
I mean, this is just my personal view. I'm just saying, I don't
And my
like
kid's
it.
only 11, so it's
And
different if they were 30 or something. So
I'm a shitload more pissed off by people calling a lover gun a lever gun. That just gets under my freaking skin right now.
it's a lever gun.
No shit. It's like you go and buy a level to level your house, not a level. Dumbasses.
Yeah.
they know
I've
not
got
what
a
they
rule
do.
with my son. With my son, I tell him, if you wouldn't say it in front of your Mimi, which is my mom, then you shouldn't say it anywhere.
Yeah.
And I try to abide by the same thing.
Yeah.
If I wouldn't say it in front of my mother,
Yeah,
then I shouldn't be saying it, period.
Thing
how
is,
can you
it's
expect
not
your
a
kid-
bad word. The word
what?
pornography is not bad. It means something bad, just like saying hell or murder.
Yes, but
It's the
if you're saying
connotation.
murder in a good light, like gun porn,
Yeah.
boy, I'm really excited about that. It'd be like saying, "Oh, I'm excited about murder." It's
No, it ain't.
kind of the same.
I'd kill for that gun.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, I understand where you're coming from, but to me, I personally don't like it. I mean, it's got because of the porn that you see on TV, the X-rated stuff with degrading women and all this.
I don't
Stuff
have
like
the same TV you do.
Right.
It was like, wow.
I'm just saying what some people say. If you want to watch porn, go for it. Hey, I've watched it. I haven't watched it for a while, but hey, I ain't saying I never watched it.
But
You know
there's
what I'm saying?
The underlying thing, though, is how can you expect to have, we were just, 20 minutes ago, we were talking about kids and how nowadays they're just, complacent and they don't care about anything. I I just kind of fall back on that. You need to teach your kids.
Oh yeah.
And, I mean, if it's
Anyway.
if it's okay for you, it's whatever. But
Yeah.
I personally.
But anyway, that was just crossed my mind, and I wanted to get it off my chest. I don't like it. That's all.
I don't use it,
I
Yeah.
don't use it.
But it doesn't. I've never found it offensive,
It's just got such a negative connotation. I mean,
Yes.
I just think it's kind of
when somebody says porn, you think of nasty, dirty stuff.
Everybody,
Guns are not nasty and dirty stuff. They're gorgeous. They're great. Now, granted, I love women. I think women are gorgeous too. But
that's exactly the point to the term porn. Is that people think guns are gorgeous, therefore they're called gun porn.
But I'm saying is, if you got your family there at the Christmas table, and you pull out your book, your photos. Oh, let's look at some gun porn.
No.
But anyway,
did you ever listen to Early Watch?
No. Well, now, yeah.
Yeah.
No, hell no. I never listened.
Oh, unknown user. The last porn I saw, I watched it on an 8mm reel to reel at a stag party. That's about right, unknown user. It's been a while, But there you go. But no, I mean, that's like this show here, right? I know I swear. I try not to. I'm trying to cut it out. I'm trying to keep it clean because I want to. If somebody stumbles across this show, I don't know if they ever would, right? Accidentally, I'm trying to put a good light on, on firearms and stuff like that. I know I'd get mad and say libtards and Democrats and the left and the socialists. I got to calm myself down on this kind of stuff and be better. But I don't know. Do I need to put a warning out? This is an adult show.
Nah.
No, but I mean, I just try not to swear when I'm on the air because you never know who's listening, and that's with the gun porn, right? I'm trying to show a positive light. If somebody comes into here who's new to guns or wants to see what it's all about, and we're talking about gun porn and all this kind of stuff,
look,
what's somebody going to think?
Look, the basic idea behind the term gun porn is like pornography itself. It's shit that ain't ever going to happen to you. So this is like unobtainable items, not just your everyday gun.
The problem I have with it is like if I mention that to my mom, the thing she would think is there would be naked women hanging on guns.
Yeah.
So and without sitting and explaining or going through a whole ordeal, if you just have somebody that's I might be interested in firearms, let's hang out with these guys, and they hear that, they could go to a negative place before understanding that we just enjoy the lines and whatever, a pistol or a firearm.
Yeah.
In order to be the truly what the gun porn thing meant is that it has to be reasonably unobtainable.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, it's just gun pictures.
Yeah. Now, a good example at the SHOT Show, I believe, from what I've talked to a few people, from what I believe, as the years have gone by, they're getting less and less bunny girls there at some of these things. I mean,
well, of course they are, man. Look at what's happening in society. Women are
that's what I'm saying.
Refusing to be treated like objects.
Exactly. So gun porn means you're treating, what I'm saying?
No, it does not. It's got nothing to do with girls. It's not pictures of girls holding guns. There's no girls in it, really.
You know that. But if somebody who's new to guns or just passing through our rooms here accidentally and they hear porn, they're going to think, naked girls holding guns.
What do you mean? There's no girls in those pictures?
No, afraid not. Sorry.
Well, I'm stopped watching now.
There is,
Well, actually,
No,
I thought the first
you,
time I heard Matt talking about it on his show, I thought that there was going to be naked girls with guns. And then I've heard him say it different times, and I realized no, it's probably just photographs of guns.
you have to understand that when Jimmy and I started the early watch, no word could be considered taboo.
Yep.
We were absolutely going to shock people and really highlight the First Amendment. That was a big part of the whole thing. That's why it got so damn vulgar because it was intentional.
Well, see, I despise censorship in all forms. I won't support any form of censorship. At least maybe I mean there might be some, if you're messing with children or something like that, or just really really disgustingly awful. But as far as you say whatever you want to say, but in the same respect, like if I'm on 2A Tuesday with Sand Hills, I know he doesn't approve of that, so I'm not going to do it on his show. Same with like Clover. If you're in Clover's chat, he wants you to keep he wants you to keep it clean. So when you're in somebody's chat that wants a clean chat, keep it clean. When you're in somebody's chat that doesn't care either way, then just say and do what you feel like doing.
Right, I agree with that completely. I mean,
Well, I see a lot of people get all twisted up when you tell them, "Hey, no cursing in the chat." And they're like, "Oh, well, you're censoring me. You're for oh, freedom, freedom." Well, no. How about respect? How about having
uh,
you have respect for Sandhills, so you keep it clean.
see, some people don't get the idea behind the amendments and the rights you have of the amendments. That doesn't apply to some private person saying they don't want you saying this stuff in their presence.
Sure.
That applies to the government saying you can't say this stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
Exactly.
people don't realize it's not about just your rights, but it's also about respect and just, I
Well,
know common sense is not a common commodity, but, we have to respect everybody that's around us because not everybody sees things the same way.
just
I'm a
just
Christian.
because
I
you
don't
can.
cuss. I don't drink. I do smoke my corncob pipe, but that's my vice other than guns. And but at the same time, I respect other people. I don't, fuss at somebody because they say something, but I do ask them, especially around my family, to please keep it clean.
It got exceptionally. See, my wife is that way. She does not like to hear it, and I'm like, well, I'm an adult. I'll say what I want. But when we started the early watch, me and Jimmy actually discussed it to start with, and it was like, we're going to come out and kick everybody's in the ass in, in any way we could. And the language thing was absolutely on purpose.
Oh, change the subject slightly in the chat. Clover Tech goes, wait, Wheelchair Warrior's got a Missouri, how you pronounce it, Mercer Cob pipe. He's loving it. So there you go. You got a fan. You got a fan there, Wheelchair.
Yeah, I love that Missouri pipe, man. That thing, I've got a high dollar pipe sitting in my room that I don't even smoke anymore because I got this one for like $11. I can put my filters in it. It's got a nice deep bowl. It's awesome. I love it.
You smoke weed, right?
Nah, it's just, well, red Turkish blend. That's the cheap
Oh,
stuff that
that's
I've been smoking lately. But, that's because I'm broke. Broke as a convict.
Yeah,
But I prefer the like cherry vanilla and stuff like that.
you ought to talk to Clover. He's got all kinds of tobacco. He's a connoisseur on tobacco.
I suppose that I should put this disclaimer forward because I've already said it twice. I used to say it on the show, but I kind of quit. The early watch is not now and never ever will be safe for work.
And we wouldn't want it any other way.
And there you go. You got the point of why we're doing what we're doing when we did it.
Yep.
Yeah. Overtake said, I need to send Wheelchair Warrior some samples.
Hey, I'm welcome to have it. I greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, well.
I'm getting kind of tired of this old Turkish blend. It's real bland. I just, but it does in a pinch because I think it's like $6 for that big bag.
Yeah.
As long as it's got nicotine in it, man, that's the main thing.
Exactly. And, I've quit smoking cigarettes now. So I'm down to the pipe and I don't inhale it. I just hold the smoke in my mouth and get the nicotine that way. And
yeah, well, I smoked for years. I haven't smoked now for, maybe 10 years now. But I smoked from the age of 13 till I stopped, And the other, it was last year's. I know it had to be a year ago now. Is when I watched Clover doing his fire, campfire chats or whatever, and he's there puffing on his pipe, and I'm thinking, God damn it, looks good.
My friend,
when I was smoking, I had a pipe. And
my friend,
guess what I found when I was packing all this stuff up to come here?
Your pipe.
The pipe.
Let me tell you something, man, and this is a piece of advice that I hope you listen to, because if you ever start it again, it's 10 times harder to quit the second time.
Man, you ain't kidding there.
And the problem thing is, if I start smoking a pipe, I know let's have a cigarette. You know what I'm saying? That I'm back in,
Yeah.
That's why I'm not doing it. So,
yeah, I stopped smoking going on 5 years now.
Yeah.
And I had machines, because I rolled my own or whatever. I used like Kentucky Best or whatever, and I gave all the machines away, and then I just told everybody, I said I stopped smoking. Well, I'm too proud to say, hey, pick me up a pack of smokes when you're coming in or whatever, since I don't drive, and so basically I was too proud, and that's how I quit. I just told everybody I did, and then they wouldn't, I wouldn't back down and say I failed or anything. So yeah,
I got an issue going on where I've tried to quit twice here in the past couple months, and when I do, my blood pressure goes way the hell up.
Which is strange. Well,
yes.
Yeah, no, because normally your pressure goes up when you smoke.
I got to discuss with my doctor and my cardiologist what to do because.
Yeah.
They can't have that.
Yeah, that sounds like a definite medical thing that needs to be taken care of.
I take a bunch of blood pressure meds already, 4 a day.
Wow.
But I don't know what to do. I mean, I want to quit.
The chat seems to be flowing along okay, Philo. He's asking if it was frozen or is it just him. I think it must be you. So, okay, sorry about that. I was just checking the chat out there. So, but anything else anybody wants to?
Do not start on that pipe again, man. Please do not.
I don't plan on it. I don't plan on it. But where I was going with this is I didn't throw it away. I should have gotten rid of it when I found it. You know what I'm saying? But it's in one of these 8 boxes here.
Now, if you really
just tell it to me when you find it.
If you feel the need for nicotine, the best thing I've seen people do is use the gum.
No, I haven't. The first few months after quitting was rough. But I haven't missed smoking the pipe, cigars, cigarettes. I haven't missed any of it. You know.
The
Now,
biggest tip that I would think with quitting is don't count the days.
no, don't.
You know, if you count the days, then you know 30 days ago I had a cigarette. If you quit, you just quit. So it doesn't matter how many days, it's just not a part of your life anymore.
That's right.
Exactly.
You know. Now, I don't like being in. I don't like being in a room with a bunch of smokers anymore. But occasionally I'll walk past somebody or somebody standing there. You know, because you can tell the smokers are all outside the front doors wherever you're walking into, restaurants, the mall, or you know, as I'm walking through, you can every now and then I get that whiff of the smell of cigarettes, and for a split second it goes, oh my God, that smells good, you know, but then it's gone, you know.
My son smokes, and I've noticed that the smell of cigarettes stinks to me now, and that's a good thing.
After a while, especially if it gets cold out, you know.
All right, guys, we're just been issued a tornado warning for the county just to the southwest of me.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's not good. Be careful.
But you know, to me, I got an addictive personality. It's all or nothing. So I rather stay away from all tobacco, whether they come out with a great one, you know, it doesn't matter. It's boom. So, it's the same, it's the same with alcohol. I don't drink any alcohol whatsoever. I haven't for 21 years. Because to me, it's all or nothing. You know?
Yeah, that was me.
So, anyway, we're getting way out there. Anything anybody else want to talk about?
I'm addicted to guns.
Well, yes, and that's where I'm going with this addictive personality. Or this thing. I mean, I got into guns. I mean, I had bought 8 guns in less than 18 months. I know some people might buy more, but to me, that's a lot.
Dude, I walked into a gun shop and bought 7 on one day.
Oh, I wish I could do that.
Man. I wish I could do that too.
I wish I could
my
too.
credit card to get my last one.
Yeah.
I thought it was good going in and buying a shotgun, and the next day going back to get that 1911. I thought that was kind of quick turnaround, but
yeah, but you know,
at least I got something to work for now.
Some people it's not, you know. But to me, to buy that many guns in such a short period, to me that was that's all or nothing. I gotta have it. And the only thing that has stopped me from buying more guns is money.
Well, you know, now for when I did the buying 7 at one time, it was because I got a settlement and I had the money right there. And I knew I wouldn't have in 6 months.
Yeah. Well, that's basically the same as me. I got a little settlement for my accident and stuff. And I know, everybody knows I'm an old man now. And I've been doing this, I've been living this, I don't know. I've never been good with money. I love spending money. And everybody said, well, you should put some away for a rainy day.
Huh.
I know you're absolutely right, but I've never been able to do it. Never. Now,
here, I'm going to dick with your head once more here, because that Sportsman's Guides for pay is you can buy a gun and pay it off in 4 monthly payments, and they'll send you the gun when you buy it.
Right now, they're kind of fucking yapping. I'm trying to figure out a way. Jump in and say, hey, I'm leaving.
You leaving?
Oh, shoot. I thought, no, I was on. Yeah, I got to go. I got off.
Hey, that's not a problem, David. I appreciate you joining.
All right, thanks, guys.
Good talking to you, David.
See you later, Dave.
See ya.
See you, David.
But I bought this 1860 revolver that way, and, you know, it's just basically, you know, you can get 100, 150 a month. This one is like 78. And it's pretty damn easy to do.
They send you the gun straight away, or you have to make
Yeah, I got the gun. I've only made the first payment.
Wow.
And next is going to be one of those cattleman's carbines, a revolver rifle.
But you have to pay the membership, right?
$35 a year, yes.
That ain't bad.
No, it's not.
No. Anyway, that's a good. I did look at that the other day. I'll look into that. As I told everybody.
I just letting you know that it is legit, and they say you need a credit card, but I have just a bank card, and that worked.
Oh yeah.
And I'm going to make use of it.
Yeah. What's the name of it?
Sportsman's Guide, and it's 4Pay is the deal.
Yeah, you can buy a gun. You can buy a gun and do 4 monthly payments.
Not just a gun, you can buy anything that costs like over $125, I think.
Okay.
And they'll split it in quarters.
But you have to be the 20. You have to be the one of the members.
Oh yes, absolutely, and that costs you $35 a year.
Yeah. So
now, I've got a question, and I don't know if maybe somebody in the chat can answer it. I'm wanting to get an AR platform that I can use for both deer hunting and for, defense. I was thinking 300 blackout, but I need advice.
Probably if you're really wanting to deer hunt with it, I don't know about 300 blackout. That's pretty slow round. I might look at the 450 or the 458. But I don't know. There's people out there that know this shit far more than I do.
Yeah, I'm not an AR-15 type of guy, I'm afraid.
I'm sure that the 458 and the 450 Bushmaster and 458 SOCOM, I'm sure those would be perfectly acceptable deer rounds. They're powerful enough to take a deer down without really too much risk of being too weak to be lethal.
Okay.
The 223 certainly is not.
Right.
Oh, a couple of people in the chat have said the 300 blackout. Or 7.62 by 39.
That's a AK round, and that would do. That's a little hotter than. I don't know that you can. Is that a rimmed round? That's 760.
They make uppers for them.
Okay, Clover says 300 blackout gets your projectiles from 90 grains to 265 grains at speeds of 1,000 to 3,000 FPS.
Wow.
I'm running 200 grain bullets.
Oh, what's your hunting distance, Wheelchair?
It probably won't be over 200, maybe 300 yards at the very most. I'm, talking farmland, stuff like that. Nothing, no out west, shooting 1,000 yards or anything.
I think I would suggest an AR-10 platform and go with 308 if you're going to want to shoot 300 yards.
I'm talking that would be the furthest, but
yeah,
I'm still going to say 308.
And I like a 308. That's
okay. Clover Tech says, 300 blackout with 115 grain would do 300 yards all day long.
I don't know the 300 blackout except for what I've read, so I don't have any idea. It just seems to me they designed that thing to be subsonic.
Yeah. I mean, but everybody's saying, a lot of people are saying 300 blackout. Clover says an AR-10 platform is heavy. That's why he doesn't like them.
Yeah. Well, one of the things about the 300 blackout that attracted me is the ability to put a can on it and run it with subsonic rounds, for inside the house if I had to use it for self-defense. But without the can, hunting or whatever, I was pretty sure I could get some hotter rounds that would. Most of the hunting I would do would not be more than 100 yards, but if I've got the right kind of glass on it, I could go 300 and feel comfortable with making a kill.
Andrew,
I wouldn't take anything over 300.
300 is great for a can. So if you can hunt with a suppressor on there, go for it. So.
Well, I wouldn't want to use subsonic rounds hunting. Well, I wouldn't think anyway. I mean, somebody can tell me different because I've not messed around with rifles in over 20 years.
Yeah, I know the says a 300 blackout was made for use with a can. And Clover says you don't have to use subsonic with a suppressor.
Oh, okay.
You don't have to. You can, but you don't have to. So these guys know what they're talking about. That's why I'm reading what they're saying here.
Yeah, I've used a 30-30 lever action, or lever action, as some people like to call it. And I've used a bolt action 308 for hunting, but 243, but I've not used anything, in the quote black rifle category in over 20 years.
Yeah.
Not since I was in the military.
Clovertech says, and out to about 150 yards, you can use subsonic just fine on things like whitetail deer.
Okay, but that's what I'd be hunting. And, here in North Carolina, I probably wouldn't take anything past 150 yards just because I wouldn't be able to see it. But
yeah,
I like to have the option to go out as far as maybe 300, but since I've not done any sharpshooting in 20 some odd years, I wouldn't want to try 1,000-yard headshot.
So a 300 blackout and get it, and eventually get a can on it, and you'll be looking good. The only problem getting a suppressor, then you got to pay that $200 tax. It takes about 8 months.
Yeah. And, that's something that would be way down the road because, with my finances, it's going to take me a long time before I can save up enough just to get the rifle, much less get a can and all that stuff.
I know where you're coming from. That's one of the reasons why I moved over here to Indiana. I don't mind telling people. I got nothing to hide. Like last month with my rent, my electric, and my water and sewage, right? Cost me $450. I was paying $750 up in the other place before I paid any utilities.
Wow.
So I'm ahead of the game already. But it's taken me a couple of months to get myself adjusted here. So starting in next month in the new year, things should be looking great. I can get myself start paying, because I got myself in a little financial jam. That's one of the reasons I moved, so I can start paying those off, get back on track with it all, and I'll be looking good. Buying more guns. That's what it's all about, is buying guns.
Well, right now I'm more concerned about buying ammo.
Well,
I've got what I've got in the magazine, and that's it.
I'm going to start. Right now, the only thing I'd be making is 45 ACP, but I'm going to start loading 9mm as well. just because I can. Because normally where I was going before, my last club I belonged to, I would pick up my empty casings, and somebody with a 9mm would walk off and leave it covered, casings everywhere. So when I was picking up my 45, I just picked up the 9mm, sorted them all out. I got tons of it now.
Tons of what? I had a visitor and I had to walk away for a minute.
He's talking about he's got tons of 9mm shells or cases.
Brad?
Yeah.
Find tons of 30-06 and 44 Magnum. 30-06 especially because I don't have none.
Hey, Vanessa.
Hey, Kitty.
Howdy, Kitty.
Yeah, I reload, Vanessa. I reload 45 ACP right now is all I'm doing. And I'm going to start doing 9mm. I mean, because really, the firearms I have is either 9mm, 45s, or I got one 38 special. So I've only got one, and I very rarely ever shoot it. So I might get into loading those, but
$40, man, is what the dies cost you, and the stuff you have for 9mm pretty much straight crossover for 44 or 38.
Yeah, true. And because I got the Leap, turret press, and I've got these. I can't think what they call them now, but it just twists off, and the whole setup comes out in one piece. So I was thinking of doing the same thing for 9mm. So when I change over, just lift out the 45, drop in the 9, and it'll be all set up, ready to go. I don't have to make any adjustments.
Oh, crap. Why don't you just spend about $10,000 and get one of those electric powered ones that you don't have to do nothing but turn it on?
No, I like doing all that stuff. Oh, Vanessa says, check out the Reload Network. Let me write that down if I remember. Network.
The bullets on 38 Special are 357 diameter, .357, and 9mm, they're 3.55. Or that may be backwards too. I don't know.
Oh, happy birthday, Vanessa.
That's right. Today's her birthday. Yeah. Happy birthday, Vanessa.
Happy birthday.
Or is it tomorrow?
No.
Tomorrow's my eldest daughter's birthday. And she'll be...
No. So I'm going to do the... So I like reloading. I find it relaxing doing it. I like doing that stuff. I mean, I like cleaning guns. I find relaxing.
I find it exceptionally cathartic to reload. I mean, it's a really good way to take your mind off of just stupid stuff that you're dealing with because you really want to concentrate.
Yeah, because you got to concentrate on the powder and everything else, So, yeah, that's what I like about it.
I haven't reloaded anything in about 6 months. I haven't shot a gun in 6 months.
Yeah, I haven't reloaded. Since I've been here 2 months now. I haven't reloaded since I've been here.
Wait a minute, that's a lie. Because I did load 38 for the old lady.
There you go.
That's been about 3 months.
Okay. All right, guys.
My son and I are working on trying to get everything we need to start making some Kydex holsters.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's going to be pretty cathartic as far as, just going through that process and having something just to focus on and take my mind off of anything else.
Why just Kydex? Why not leather?
Well, eventually I might get into some leather, but as I mentioned, the finances, it's taken us a while to get everything we need just to do the Kydex. And I'm going to gradually, build up from there.
I think that if you can be meticulous with your sewing, you can sew leather by hand. It's not easy, but I think there's a pretty good profit margin making stuff out of leather if you can source leather pretty reasonably, and that's It's not that hard to do because you can buy odds and ends from like Amazon. They'll send you pounds of leather, and it doesn't take a whole lot of leather to make a holster.
No,
You
it
know,
don't.
unless you're doing like my cowboy action stuff where their holsters are 9 inches long. But it's just a thought, man.
Yeah, and it's something I've looked into, and I figured we'd start off small, try to, I've only got 3 pistols that I can work with as far as making holsters for. So,
Yeah, that's another thing. To make the leather, you really need the gun.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, guys, I'm going to wind this down now. All right.
No, you're not. We're not going to let you out of here.
he's getting hungry. He never eats till after the show.
That's right.
That's why we're not going to let him out of here. Teach him to eat on the damn show.
Plus, but you know what? It's getting close to 5, right? Eastern
It's
time.
4:45.
Yeah. What? It's 4:47.
No, it's not. It's 3:47. All the rest of you guys are just nuts.
Right, but you know what happens to with my cats at 5 o'clock? They start circling me and start scratching me. Hungry.
Well, go feed the cats and come back.
You know. Well, I want to feed myself too.
Go get you a sandwich and come back.
You know. No. I'm going to wind it up. All right. So anyway, wheelchair. Any last any plugs or anything?
I'm trying to get my space cleared up so I can start back making some videos, and hopefully that'll be happening soon. Other than that, I just appreciate the invite on here and thoroughly enjoyed talking to you guys.
I appreciate you being here. Yeah, sorry about that, Vanessa. We've been going for almost 2 hours. So I'm getting better at this. You know?
Can't even hang in for 2 hours.
I know. I'm gonna have to.
You know, when I started the early watch, it was 6.
I remember. I don't know how you guys did it.
I don't either, to be damned honest with you. And I was, when G-Webs moved the Daily Gun Show to noon, I was pissed off at first. Like, he just come in and took over our time, and then after I did the first one, and it was only 3 hours long, and we ran out of time before we ran out of stuff to talk about. I'm like, whoa, this is great.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So I'll be glad when the early watch comes back. Instead of waiting. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Mr. Knives doing his thing, but it's 11 o'clock my time when he starts. What was he start at 8 o'clock his time? But it's 11 here. So if you're doing the morning watch, give me something to do.
I'm looking at starting 2 to 3 hours before him and run it up until it's time for him. I'm not going to cut him any.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that would work beautiful. That would work beautiful. All right. Any plugs there, Patriot in the Dark? The legend. The man himself.
Sorry, I had a wild dog going crazy. She's going to do it again. That's our ferocious beast. My security system there. No, just thanks for having me, everybody. Don't forget, if you can avoid the tornadoes, the snowstorms, the rain. Tomorrow is the 2nd. Every second matters. Make sure you check things out, talk to people, join some of the chats, make a chat, whatever.
Yeah,
it's important. Don't sit on your butt and think somebody else is going to do it, because they're not going to.
Just for everybody's peace of mind here, tornado warning is not for my specific area. It's about 20 miles east or west of me. So I'm not.
That's good.
Good.
All right.
It's actually on the other side of the Illinois River.
You got to hit the plug, Tony?
Not really, but yes, I am wanting to line up hosts for the early watch when it comes back, for like a revolving deal where there's somebody different co-hosting it, as people are free to do so.
That's a good idea.
But I want it to be kind of scheduled so I know what's going on.
Okay. So they need to get a hold of you.
Yes. And they can get a hold of me at earlywatchil@gmail.com.
There you go. You guys got that? earlywatchil@gmail.com.
We might do a couple of test shots in December, but I'm looking to start it again in January, right after first year.
Okay, that is great. I'll be
Our
there.
family's Christmas dinner is the first. We get together because all my kids have families,
Yeah.
so we're doing ours on New Year's Day for all of us to get together. So I won't be starting it then, but maybe the second.
Okay, that sounds good. That sounds good. Okay, great. I want to say thanks to Vanessa, Midnight Range. Who else we got? Cowboy Pop Joy. Is that how you pronounce it? Ozzy. Who else we got? Clover. Gizzard Gary. Calvarez. I said Ozzy, didn't I? Who else we got? I saw Great.
Hey, a wheelchair warrior.
Yeah.
Thinking
Andrew
about making
Rockwell.
holsters.
David Bowden, he was in the thing here. He's left now. I mentioned Clover. But a whole bunch of you. I appreciate you all showing up. It makes my
Wheelchair.
day when you guys get here. And I will try to hang in 2 hours next week. But I'll be back on Wednesday for our show on Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern. So I will see everybody then.
Wheelchair, if you want to talk to somebody about starting the holster thing, get a hold of Mike Ozzy Osbourne, or however the hell he says it.
Yeah.
He's doing it. And he just started doing it not too long ago, as far as I know.
All right. Let me end the broadcast. So thanks a lot, everybody.